to be grateful for an opportunity and to be humble, you don't have to think that you don't deserve it. Like that's not, humility is not thinking you don't deserve it. Humility is putting in the work that is required of the opportunity that's been presented to you.
That's a bar. My mom's gonna love that. Hi guys, my name is Jay Stevens and welcome to the Sellout Pod. Everybody clap. Thank you so much. This is the show where I like to invite on my favorite musicians, singers, songwriters, artists who are genre defying. They are never boxed in. They do what the hell they want and they do it well. Today's guest, somebody that I'm super excited to have here today. We're meeting for the first time, okay? This is live, exclusive, okay? But I have been listening and watching and cheering her on from Instagram for many, many years, okay? She is a singer, songwriter, poet, most recently actress. We're going to get into that. Don't think we won't. Someone whose music, honestly, it blends vulnerability, intellect, identity. She's honestly a genius, in my opinion, and an LA native down, okay? I like to think I'm an LA native. No, like she's the real deal. And she's very influential because I wore my glasses today because I wanted to be just like her. Everybody give it up for Jensen McRae.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for wearing your glasses because we do need more Four Eyes representation.
I love it. I love the look. I love the brand. I wore like a collared shirt today. Like I really just wanted to feel studious. Like
You're going to school.
I'm going to school. You don't understand. I wanted to get on your level. I really respect you. I feel like you're like really like smart.
Thank you.
I've been a fan since the double whammy of your first two singles.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so 2019. She comes out the gate swinging with a song called White Boy. I'm not even going to get into that because we don't have time to unpack that, really. And, like, you know, I was feeling a little too hurt listening to those lyrics. And then 2020, we had Wolves. I mean, those two songs being your first two releases, how do you start there? Like, was that the beginning of your songwriting journey or just the beginning of the journey for the rest of us, you know, listening to you?
I'd definitely been writing for a really long time, but I think about that a lot now, the fact that those were my first two singles.
That's crazy. Do you realize how crazy that is?
And, like, I've watched the music videos back recently as well, and I'm like, the White Boy video being my first video, like, I basically, the song is about like me feeling like ignored and slighted at a party, and so I recreated the party in the video. And like the end of the video, like one of the last shots is me standing in front of all of these white boys that we had cast to be like extras in the video, and it's me singing the end of the song, just standing in front of them. And I was like, I was 22 years old and I came out swinging. Like that is crazy. But I do think that like those songs, it wouldn't have been possible without me having been a songwriter for many, many years before that. Like those were that was the way I wanted to introduce myself to people as a songwriter, but there was just no way that I could have written those songs. They were both really the product of so many years of songwriting and processing my life. And like they were songs I'd probably always wanted to write, but couldn't write. So I was in my early 20s because I needed to like live more experiences.
What's your tea? Do you come from a musical family?
Yes. My little brother's in my band. He is my keyboard player and an amazing artist. My dad is a lawyer but loves to sing. He has a beautiful voice. And both my parents like played us a lot of music growing up, but neither of them were musicians like by trade. And the reason I started writing songs was because I always loved to sing, I always loved to read and write. And when I told my mom I wanted to be a singer when I was like 5 years old, she was like, well, okay, well, you have to write your own song because that's where the money is. And I was like,
period.
Okay, I got it. Like, I'm on it.
No, I love that. I wish my mom would have told me that because I feel like I started writing songs only out of necessity because I was tired of her making me sing these grown-ass songs, the Keisha Cole of it all. I was like, Mom, like, I'm literally 8. Like, can I sing?
And she was like, but that's my song,
She was like, but that's my song. Like, I need you to learn this one. So that's how I started writing songs. But your mom was tapped in.
She was like, this is, if you're going to do this, you're going to do it right.
Yeah.
And I think she also could tell that because I liked poetry and because I loved reading books and I wanted to write books, like all these things I wanted to do, is like, it just made sense. for me to pursue that. And definitely the early songs were not giving, but
they might.
They never are when you're 9.
I don't believe you. Like, I honestly feel like there was some untapped like Edgar Allan Poe going on. Low-key.
I think my first good song was probably when I was like 15. I think it was probably like 6-7 years of just really trying to just copy everyone that I loved and doing it very poorly. I mean, Alicia Keys is like the reason I'm a musician.
Love.
My mom played me her music, and I was like, she's a mixed girl with braids. I'm a mixed girl with braids, so I'm doing that for the rest of my life as my job. And I like started playing piano. I didn't play guitar till I was 18, so it was like very Alicia Keys focused. And then I started finding other music that I love. My parents also played me like Stevie Wonder and Carole King and James Taylor.
A house of taste.
Yes, it was all like the huge titans of being great songwriters. And then when I got to like middle school and high school, I started finding my own stuff. Like I got really into Sarah Bareilles. Like I got really into, when I was in college, I got really into like Bon Iver and Phoebe Bridgers.
Yeah, I was really like interested in knowing like what was placed in front of you compared to like what you actually like kind of grew up and sought out yourself. I hear all of those influences.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice.
You do. No, it's true. Like it's honestly really true. So was it giving family band? Like was your younger brother like low key playing behind you? Did you bully him into it? Because that's something that I did with my younger brother.
Oh really?
Well, honestly, actually no, that's a total lie. I actually told my brother, you cannot do music. This is mine.
Right.
You're the smart kid. Find something else to do. So I'm guessing you did not do that.
Well, no, but the reason that he played was because my parents there's 3 of us. We have an older brother too. And my parents put all 3 of us in piano lessons, just like you put kids in everything just to see what sticks. And our older brother didn't care about it at all, but me and Holden both really loved it. And he was always doing it kind of parallel to me. Like we weren't really doing it together. And then he went to the same music school that I went to for college. And I started to, my career started to take off a little bit. And my mom was like, when will you be doing nepotism for your brother?
Real.
And I was like, he's not ready yet. And then after a couple years, like in the starting like 2023, I was like, okay, like I'm gonna bring him out. And I did this little headline tour in 2023 where I was like, he can open for me and he can play piano with me on some of the songs.
So beautiful.
And I was like, and now he's ready.
Put your brother through his paces.
I was like, you're gonna have to earn it.
You
like I'm not bringing just
it.
anybody. I'm putting the finest heifers on the floor.
Yes.
Only.
Oh my God, obsessed. No, that's amazing, and that's really beautiful. Yeah. And I support, all forms of Black nepotism.
Yes.
But when it is our sibling, we do still need them to put in some elbow grease.
Well, I just knew he was so good, and I was like, if I push him a little bit, if I just like nudge him a little bit, I'm like, this is like, you do have to earn this. And like now when we work together, it's like he is always calling me like telling me about how many hours he's putting in, like practicing the patches that he's going to be using for my shows, learning the background vocals. Like he has suggestions, he has ideas. Like we established a relationship where I was like, you can't just show up. Like he has to be super enthusiastic and curious and disciplined, and he has to be like any other member of the band. He does get some special treatment because like that's my baby.
Just a little bit.
But he can't, not in terms of how much work he's doing. Like he needs to be working as hard, if not harder, than everybody else.
Oh my God, that's so exciting. So my scholarly sister, my sister in education, Harvard Westlake.
Unfortunately.
Why unfortunately?
Tell
the people who aren't around.
Well, here's the thing. Harvard Westlake is an amazing school. It's an amazing private school in Los Angeles. And
Gorgeous.
It was the right place for me to be because I got a great education. But when you are a weird Black girl, high school is always going to be hard.
Yes, of course.
And so then being at like a mostly white private school where everyone is like a 5-star athlete or like an amazing scholar or both.
Yeah.
Like I always got good grades. I was a very high achieving student, but not sporty at all. And I just wasn't cool. Like I did improv and slam poetry.
I love that.
The weirdest extracurricular activities you could possibly do. So I felt very socially isolated, and like I did not enjoy my time in high school at all.
Really?
I was very, very sad, and I was very anxious. And it was when I got to college that I really felt like myself. Like
USC.
my whole yeah.
What was it about college where you like found yourself? Was it like the difference in environment? Because like, did you travel even that far from?
Oh, I mean, I was definitely still in LA. And the thing about USC is if I had not been in the music school, it would have been basically an identical experience to high school.
True,
like USC at large is another like very majority white, majority wealthy private institution. So if I had been studying in one of the other schools, I'm sure it would have been the same experience. But being in the music school, it's much more diverse, like racially, economically, and everyone who's there is like a big music nerd. Like everyone who's there was the weird kid at their high school, and like the social currency was being unique. Like in high school, it felt like the social currency was conformity. It was, can you wear the right Lululemon leggings? Like, can you like have your hair the right way? Can you like wear the right jacket and say the right things and know the slang? Whatever the stuff was, you had to be just just like everybody else. And I was completely incapable of doing that. And so I similarly leaned into it, and I was like, I'm going to like read Kurt Vonnegut in the bleachers.
Honestly,
in a trench coat. But then I got to college, and like I was kind of normie. Like when I got to college, like all the things that made me weird in high school, people were like, yeah, been there, done that. Like, where is your feather boa? And I was like, oh, I didn't know it was like that.
Do you feel like, you know, your emo phase in high school is like, do you credit that to your work ethic? Even though I feel like that yours kind of goes back to mom telling you need to write your own songs. Like, has that always been ingrained in you?
But I was always struggling socially. I feel like it wasn't until college that I was good at making friends. Like my whole childhood, I had friends, but I always felt on the outside, and I always felt like an observer, and that was a big part of what made me want to write. Like I just wanted to watch the world.
That's why you're such a good writer.
Thank you.
Because I feel like you observe the world in a different way, because maybe you're just not doing as much talking.
Oh, I'm doing a lot of talking.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the crazy part, is that like I was a social outcast who was also doing so much talking.
To who?
To myself.
Me.
Well, to myself. No, I mean,
they say the smartest people talk to themselves. Like,
and I did have friends. Like, it's not as if like I literally spent all my time alone, but it was just like this. It was, a handful of people who were nice to me.
Yes.
And we really locked in, and we had a lot to say to each other, had amazing conversations. But it was like, there was the popular kids sort of seeing that and being like, what the hell is that? What are they talking about?
In college, what were you majoring in?
I was a pop music major. So at the music school, they had a popular music performance degree, and then you could specify like what your instrument was, and I was a songwriting emphasis. So I got to study exactly what I wanted.
That's so ideal.
It was great. I mean, I kind of wish there had been more songwriting classes, because it was kind of, it's still an evolving program. It's still a very young program, and there's only 3 songwriting classes. Like the rest of what I took was like.
How do you teach someone to songwrite?
Well,
do you feel like that was formative for you, or did you kind of get there feeling like you knew your shit?
Oh, I definitely got there and was like, I have a lot to learn immediately. I was like, I have a lot of room to grow. But the biggest thing, it was much less like them teaching me specific things and much more just creating an environment where you had to be writing all the time. It was like every week you have to turn in a song, and just having that as a structural element was really important to becoming a better songwriter. And also being around other musicians who were great and being like, well, I have to prove myself and I have to be able to hold my own with all these talented people.
I feel like that would be easy for you. You give Virgo down.
Well, yes. And it was my birthday a week ago. Or
Happy
2 weeks
belated,
ago.
everybody clap. Yes. Happy belated. We are filming this in Virgo. Well, not anymore. But you know what? Happy belated Virgo season. Happy belated birthday. And yeah, I definitely feel that tenacity in you. I definitely feel like you want to be the one who's like, you know what? I'm going to outwork all these bitches.
Literally, I remember being like on one of the first days of class, hearing other kids perform songs that they'd written and thinking their songs were so much better than mine. And I was like, I don't have to be the best. I just have to work the hardest. And I was like very determined. I was like, I'm going to be the person I want to be the most improved over the course of these years.
That's a really good attitude to have, because I feel like that is an attitude that can really take you far in school, working hard, oftentimes equals good grades.
Yes.
How do you feel like that kind of attitude translates to the music industry, where working hard does not always equal success?
Well, I do find that even if I'm not getting super obvious material success, like I can still identify that I'm getting better. Like I can look at my music and I can go, okay, the songs that I'm writing now are better than the songs I was writing 2 or 3 years ago. But also, I don't necessarily need to see massive growth as long as I feel like I'm making some kind of progress. Like to me, a failed year is like I'm in the exact same place I was a year ago in terms of my career. It's like even if only one thing has changed, even if it's like, oh, like I went on a tour that I didn't think I was going to get, or like I put music out that I've been waiting to release for a long time. It's like as long as I can say definitively my career is at least a little bit progressed over the course of the last year, then I did what I had to do. And even though I can't force myself to break or to go viral or to chart, like there is a lot that is within your control. And if you work really, really hard, you can create some kind of progress. Even if it's just like in terms of volume, it's like, oh, I wrote 150 songs this year. It's like, that's an amazing metric also to reach. It's just in terms of things you can control.
That's definitely like a really good way of looking at it. 'Cause I just feel like we have so many resources at our disposal. Like honestly, the only way to fail, if you have the talent, the only way really to fail is to not be consistent. And to not put yourself out there every day and see some sort of turnout. So I actually do really love that. Thank you. I'm going to try to go forth with that mindset. I do need to think like a Virgo more often.
What's your sign?
Well, I'm a Cancer.
Ah, love.
What do you love about that?
Well, I'm a Cancer rising, and so I really, the Cancers really resonate with. I mean, the sensitivity and being nurturing, and like, I mean, Cancer and Virgo, that's both like mom friend energy. That's like you really care about your people and you really look out for your people, and that's like a beautiful thing to have in a person.
Thank you for making me feel better about the most pathetic sign.
No,
we're just a bit sad all the time.
I mean, is it crybaby energy? Sure.
Crybaby energy down.
Yes.
So,
but it's also beautiful, and that again, as an artist, like having water energy in the chart is key.
I love that you say that you really just want to feel like there's been growth from year to year, whether it be new opportunities or whether it be looking back and seeing growth and progress in like your writing, because I recently went back and revisited your first album for the first time in a while, and then went back and re-listened to your most recent album. I don't know how, but they found me. And I hear it. I definitely hear the progress. I hear the movement. Sonically, it's a lot fuller. It feels a lot more intentional. It feels a lot more self-assured. And then lyrically, especially, I feel like you really got in your bag. From my understanding, it's about 2 back-to-back relationships that happened maybe a little too close to each other.
It happened very close to each other. Yes, that is what happened.
So these songs that you're writing in this like back-to-back experience, are they written during? Are they written in the middle? Are they written after? Like, what is your process? Do you need time to step away, or are you more of like right in the eye of the storm kind of girl?
It's a combination of both, for sure.
Yeah.
There's some songs on the album that were written like kind of while the second relationship was going on, and then there were a lot of songs that were written after the second relationship ended, and I started looking back at both of them, kind of seeing the similarities, seeing the differences. I mean, I feel like with Wolves and White Boy, like those were songs that like I needed to be writing kind of in retrospect, whereas some of the songs on the second album were very much like real time processing the things that I was thinking and feeling. And I feel like you can kind of go either way. Like sometimes the process works better when you wait, but sometimes you can only really tap into something in an experience in a very visceral way when you're writing about it as it's happening.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be real with you. Like, it's not often that I feel like I would listen to this genre and expect to hear a story so closely resembling mine. And I felt very moved by that, and like very, I don't know, I just really might have even tapped in more because of that. I felt very in tune with it. What is it like kind of journeying through this genre where I feel like we don't see a lot of ourselves, whether it be on stage or even looking out into the audience, you know? Is that has there been any pressure in the realization that, you know, your sound may not kind of line up with the expectation of what's to come from a Black artist or a Black girl especially?
I mean, I got really lucky that by the time I really started to, when I was making the first album, everyone who was involved was extremely supportive of what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
Prior to that, I definitely got a lot of people not understanding what I was doing. Like before I met my team, every time I would try to meet someone in the music industry and be like, oh, can you help me? Like, this is what I'm doing. They would just be kind of this confusion. Like they was like, we don't really know what to do. We don't really know what this is. And like I would play shows at songwriter nights. I'd be the only Black girl. And then people would come up to me and be like, you sound like insert any white artist, but with more soul. Oh. And I'd be like, well, now that's all starting to sound like a dog whistle a little bit. And like I remember one time I played White Boy at a show, and the white sound guy came up to me afterward and was like, man, that song White Boy was amazing. And I was like, thank you so much. And he was like, you know, my girlfriend's Indian. Oh. And I was like, okay, that's great. That's enough, actually.
Thanks for letting me know.
I'm not coming back here again. That sucks. But it is interesting. Like obviously pop culture can be so siloed, and being someone who's like, I know I'm an unfamiliar face in this genre, it's like I'm so happy to be able to bring, like, I mean, that's people I work with too sometimes, like I put them onto like Muna and Phoebe Bridgers and Bon Iver and all this stuff. It's like they didn't know about that stuff either. It's really cool to
especially
do
now
that.
Everybody is like so tapped into their own algorithm, their own tastes, their own environment, you know, like you really have to seek something new and go outside. So I think it's great that you can be that person for a lot of girls, especially a lot of aspiring musicians. I mean, is that even a responsibility that you take on? Is that something that you feel kind of personally responsible for? Or are you just out here doing your thing and you would like to be a role model, or maybe not? Or like, what is your stance on that? Because I always wonder people who kind of feel like a first of their kind in a way, which is how I honestly see you.
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid thinking, because, growing up in Obama's America, I was like, oh, history is over and like I'm never going to be the first to do anything. And then now my whole adult life.
We are the ancestors now. Low-key.
Yes. Literally, I'm like, I did not know I was signing up to be an ancestor. But it turns out I am. And like, I definitely feel a responsibility. And I'm happy about it. Like, I do think, obviously, there are people who choose to have public platforms and they don't want to have stances on anything. They refuse the label of being a role model when people tell them that they are one. They're like, that's not my job. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I love doing it. Like, I think part of that is honestly being a big sister. Like, because I have a little brother and like I felt like I was his role model. I'm so happy to do that for more people. And like, it just makes you be on your best behavior. Like, I like having a little bit more motivation to like be a little bit more responsible and a little bit more polite and patient and to be a little bit more informed and aware. And when I share things and when I share my opinions, like I want them to be backed by something. And like I was in Sephora the other day and I was like trying to look at a display and there were these people blocking me and I was like getting kind of annoyed because they're taking a long time. And then I was like, girl, just take a deep breath. It's fine. And then they noticed me and they're like, oh, we're really sorry. And I was like, oh no, take your time. Like check this stuff out. And then one of them goes, are you Jensen McRae?
Oh.
And I was like, yes, I am.
Yes.
And they're like, oh my God, like your music. And then, we had this beautiful exchange. And I was like, thank God I didn't just go off on these girls.
Been canceled on TikTok.
I would have been canceled. They would have been like, Jensen McRae hates her fans. And I was like, thank God I like took a breath and was like, oh, it's okay that they're taking a long time. Like,
That's
it's
really
fine.
important.
And I was like, that is a great motivator just to be a little bit of a better person than maybe I otherwise would have. Like, maybe someone's watching who knows who I am. And like, especially as a Black girl, like you don't get a lot of chances. So it's like, you got to be locked in because if you mess up once, they may be like, oh yeah, she's mean or she's ratchet or she's whatever. And it's like, I'm not going to give them the opportunity to say any of that.
I really love that. And I really, listen, you're an idol for us all.
Oh,
starting with the glasses and ending with, have a better attitude in public. Because me personally, I'm still working on it. Listen, I'm a work in progress.
And so am I. I would never profess to have figured it all out. I know there's going to be people who are like, she made a mistake, she misstepped. And that is...
You give like big journaler.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Do we? Are we
clock it? Yes.
Are we talking like one a month or what?
No, I actually haven't been journaling as much this year with all the travel. In theory, I should be journaling more because like I'm always in airports and stuff. But like, it's just been in general. This year has been a much more hectic time for me in terms of writing. Like I haven't been writing as many songs, I haven't been journaling as much. But I filled like 30 journals or something like that in the last like 6 years. So it's like one every 3 to 6 months, I guess.
Louise. Yeah.
So they're it's a big part of my life and I want to do it more. I want to get back into the swing of things because it does make me feel better just to like I notice if I put everything down on paper, it's like, oh, my mind's a little bit quieter. And also, I don't know if you have this experience with songwriting, but like if you are just kind of free writing, sometimes you'll accidentally write something and be like, wait, that's a bar.
See, that's the thing. Like I never do. I had to like set a like a New Year's kind of resolution. I put it on my vision board. Like I want to journal in 2025. I want to keep like a diary or whatever for longer than 2 months because it's the longest I've ever done it. I'm definitely not like a everyday jot my thoughts down kind of person. I am very much the talk to myself type, slightly concerning why I could never live with anyone. But yeah, in terms of like jotting things down, I have not quite been able to get like in the habit. I've done better this year. Okay. Like I might skip like 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, but I always pick it back up again.
And that's the most important thing, is to not beat yourself up about like consistency. Like journaling is about, and any sort of like creative practice is about just using it as needed and like you have it and just returning to it eventually, like, and not giving up on yourself because you aren't doing it perfectly.
Do you feel like you need it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm in therapy too, like not on any kind of consistent basis, but I've been seeing the same therapist for several years. And whenever I think of therapy, I think of journaling, I think of all those things as like tools in the toolbox. It's like sometimes you really need to do it every day or once a week or whatever the practice is. And then other times you can go for months without it and feel stable and grounded. Yeah. But you should always remember that it's there and available to you.
Yeah, I be forgetting.
Listen, it's hard. Sometimes life gets really fast and like the idea of like waking up early or like before bed sitting down to journal is like, I don't really feel like doing that. You know, you write a journal entry from the perspective of your dream day of like, I wake up in my dream apartment and in my dream city, and then I go to like this restaurant that I love and I have a session with this producer that I've always wanted to work with. And it's like you kind of script as if it's already happened.
Oh man, that's really exciting. Wait, I'm gonna go home and
Which
try
I would
it.
recommend.
I'm gonna go home and try it. Do you feel like any of that has come true recently? Have you jotted down any manifestations in this journal? Has anything come true on the road, or anything come true even in the making of this last album?
Yeah.
Because I feel like this last album was like a bit more of a, not an undertaking, but did it feel more serious compared to the first one? Like any new collaborators that you really aspired to that you finally got to get in with? Like, how did she start?
Well, I mean, the whole album was produced by Brad Cook, whose work I've always admired.
Bonnie
and yes.
Okay, hot.
And I have always, I definitely felt like this album was a little scarier in terms of how personal it was, because the first album was about kind of just the whole beginning of my life. It was my whole coming of age. It was the whole thing of like being a bit of a social outcast and like dealing with anxiety and depression and all of these things. And I kind of had my whole life to process what that album was going to be. They say that's like a saying, I guess, like you have your whole life to write your first album and then 2 years to write the second one.
That's crazy.
And so that was very much what it felt like. And so writing this and then writing the second one, in addition to the fact that it was like a shorter span of time that I had less time to process, it was my first 2 relationships I'd ever had. And I knew that every musician ever had written a breakup album. Like it's a rite of passage. But for me to be doing it felt like new. It felt like I was doing something crazy.
Larger than life.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
And so that was definitely like kind of scary. In terms of like, you know, what I was manifesting about it, like one of the biggest things was just like I really wanted to tour and I wanted to sell out shows, and I've been very fortunate that like almost all my shows this year I've sold out, which has been wonderful.
That's amazing.
But definitely the biggest manifesting thing ever was that while I was recording the second album, I was talking to Brad about like other things I want to do in my career. He's like, "What else do you want to do?" And I was like, "Well, I really want to act." And
segue.
And he was like, "What's your dream acting role?" And I was like, "Well, I'd really love to have like a small part in an A24 movie where I sing a song."
Sick.
And then literally like maybe the next day or 2 days later is when I got the call from Spike.
Okay, wait, let's just slow it down. Okay, so you got the call from Spike. So you and Spike are just like on a first name basis. How did we get here?
He found my music on Instagram at the beginning of 2024 and just sent me a message that I originally missed. I was like a few days late to responding to it, which I felt horrible about because it was just in my request. It was just like, you know, so many. It's just a C in there. It's like a lot of spam. It's like a lot of sugar daddy bots. It's like a lot of it's just nonsense. And then in there was like Spike Lee, and I was like, that can't be the real him. But then it was verified, and I was like, it is him. And he just said, keep doing your thing. And I was like, okay, awesome.
That was a really good impression.
Thank you. And so then I messaged back and I said, thank you. And then sort of sporadically, like every couple of weeks, he would be like, oh, like, what are you working on? Do you have any shows coming up? Have you ever been to Brooklyn? And I was like, you know, responding. And then one day he was like, can I call you? And I was like, sure. And me and my mom were like doing research, and we're like, oh, he's doing a new movie with Denzel. So I was like, oh, I bet he's gonna ask me to write a song for the movie, because he'd been commenting on a bunch of my songs being like, oh yeah, keep it up, sister, or whatever. And so then while I'm in North Carolina, he calls me and I like step out of the studio and he starts explaining the plot of Highest to Lowest. And he's like, you need to write this down. So I'm writing down everything he says. He's like, you're going to write a song. It's going to be called King David. And here's all the things that happen in the movie.
Oh, he gave you the title. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
He's like, it's called King David. Here are all the words that I want you to include.
I feel like you loved that.
I love an
feel
assignment.
Like you love an assignment.
I love an assignment. Well, because the creative constraints, like, it just makes it like there's only so much you can do. So it's like within that box, how are you gonna solve it? And so he's telling me what the song is going to be about, and then he says, and then your character sings it to Denzel, and I said, what?
Denzel who?
I said, my character? He said, yeah, you're in the movie. And I said, what are you talking about? I was like, well, when is this movie filming? And he was like, oh, in a month. This would have been April 2024. And I was like, I'm about to be in Canada on an arena tour in April. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that. And he was like, oh, you'll make it work.
I know that's right.
And I was like, I guess I will. And then, I was like, well, when do you want the song by? He said, ASAP. You're prolific, aren't you? And I was like, yes, you are. I am. Okay. And so we hung up the phone and I went into Brad's backyard and I immediately wrote 2 versions of the song. The first one being the one that's in the movie.
2 versions or 2 verses?
Two technically, but both. Because he's like, I want a 1-minute song. He specifically said, I want a 1-minute song. Do not write a long song and make it shorter. I want you to write a 1-minute song. So I wrote 2 1-minute songs that were like a verse and chorus each.
Wow.
And, but both, very similar, obviously, because it was the same title and the same subject matter.
Yeah.
And I immediately sent them both to him. And I was like, just tell me which one you want. And then over the course of the next month or so, he every so often would reach out again, like with, scheduling stuff. And I was like, which one of these songs am I doing? I think it was the night before I flew to New York.
That's how it works.
He was like, you're doing the first version. And I said, okay. And I said, by the way, this is my first acting job ever in my life. Like, I can't thank you enough for taking a chance on me. And he goes, you manifested this.
He's right.
And I said,
you're right, actually.
Where's the cameras? Why do you know that?
He knows all.
Yeah, and so that was like definitely the most powerful manifesting I think I've ever done in my life.
Shit, I'm inspired. Where's my journal at? Low key. Okay, so he said you were gonna make it work, and you did.
And I did.
So
I got really
you just
lucky.
dipped in the middle of your tour, like real quick.
I got really lucky. So we were on the east coast of Canada at the time. The whole Noah tour, we started in Vancouver on the west coast and like worked our way east. And fortunately, the timing worked out that I was in Quebec on April 10th. And then on April 11th, the morning of April 11th, I flew to New York, which was like a 1 or 2 hour flight, got my costume, and then went to sleep, woke up the next morning on April 12th, got my hair and makeup done, went to set, shot the scene, took these glasses off, shot the scene, and then left immediately from set back to the airport so I could be in Montreal on the 13th for the next show.
It was meant to be.
Yeah, it was incredibly
meant
fated.
to be.
Yeah. Up until May of this year, had convinced myself I'd been cut from the film. And then Spike ended up coming to one of my New York shows. He was like, are you excited about the movie? And I was like, honestly, sir, like I was worried that you cut me out of it. He was like, you weren't going to get cut. And I was like, well, I didn't know that.
He's like, the audacity of you to think such a thing.
Well, because I was like,
I scouted you in your Instagram DMs.
Exactly.
How dare you?
And that's how he found Ayana, who sang the closing song and the title track of the movie. And I think there was someone else that he used in the soundtrack that he also just scouted through Instagram. And I now can see it's like, oh, he just really wanted to feature us. He wanted to feature these real musicians in the film. But I was like, I'm in 1 minute of this movie. If anything's getting cut for time, it's your girl. And the fact that I didn't, I was very grateful for. Yeah.
Do we see any more acting in your future?
I really hope so. My first few tapes that I sent to my acting agent, she just didn't say anything. And I was like, okay, period. Like every time I sent a tape, she was like, amazing. Like this is, I don't know if it's going to be this, but it's going to be something.
Yeah.
But I'm also a screenwriter. So my dream is that I would write something and that I would get to star in it as well. Like that's what I really want. And by the way, that's my next manifesting thing, is that one of my next acting job will be that I'm starring in a screenplay that I wrote.
Write it down, sister.
So I wrote a rom-com.
Thank God.
And that's my dream, is to star in the rom-com that I wrote.
Oh,
so we're just gonna put that.
I love rom-coms. Can I do a song on the soundtrack?
Oh my God, yes, girl.
Just like really fast.
Yes.
Like
no, I'm literally gonna get all my friends for it if this gets off the ground.
I want to submit a song.
If this thing actually happens, I already know I already got my opening credit.
You wrote it down.
I have my opening credit and my closing credit song
Obsessed.
Nailed, and then I'm like, the whole middle of the soundtrack, I need to get all the girls.
Guys,
it'd be so fun.
You heard it here first. I'm looking at the camera because it's that serious. I feel like I need to go run like a 5K or something.
I just ran a 5K.
Oh, what do you mean? What haven't you done? Okay, you ran a 5K. Why?
Well, because my older brother's a marathon runner, and he was like, you should do this. He is the most like health conscious, optimized person in the world. He's run multiple marathons, and I had told him that I wanted to run a 5K, and he just like sent me a link to one. I was like, I just signed up. You're signing up too. And I was like, okay. So I just did it.
Now that's the big brother to the big sister.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're both such eldest child.
Oh my God. I believe that one day my brother and I will be like that. But like my brother's gonna be older than me soon, because like. No, it's true.
How's that work?
No, it's true. Because, like, somehow something got really mixed up with us. Where, like, he's, like, the older, like, mature one. Like, you know, he has, like, a real job and things like that. And I'm just kind of like, okay. Like, I'm hot. I'm young and lit. Like, what do you mean?
And that's so much. That's so many things on your plate.
I agree.
Yes.
Thank you for understanding.
Yes.
I feel like we see each other.
Because
we have these glasses on. Other than that, I don't even know who you are. I don't know who you are. Do you deal with any imposter syndrome?
Honestly, no.
Damn.
I'm gonna be so for real. No, there's been. I will say, when I was on that movie set, absolutely.
Okay.
It's not that I never have imposter syndrome. It's that it's very brief. It's like when I got onto the Noah Khan tour and I stepped into my first arena, I was like, I don't deserve to be here. I shouldn't be here. This is crazy. And everyone that I was touring with was like, you've been preparing for this literally your entire life. Like, of course you can do it. And it was after one show, I was like, okay, no, I'm capable and like I'm ready. And it's like I'm not gonna be perfect and like I'm gonna have things every show that I want to change, but like I am ready for this opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like the imposter syndrome that I have now, it's like a split second of like, oh, wait, should I actually be here? And then I'm like, just do the work. Don't worry about how people are going to respond to it. Just do the job that you've always wanted to be doing. And then I feel like much more worthy and deserving of it. Because also, you know what else you're allowed to do is to trust that you're good enough.
Yeah, that's so hard.
You don't have to be to be grateful for an opportunity and to be humble. You don't have to think that you don't deserve it. Like that's not humility. Is not thinking you don't deserve it. Humility is putting in the work that is required of the opportunity that's been presented to you.
That's a bar. My mom's gonna love that. I would like to transition into this segment that we like to call the Sellout Hall of Fame. Okay, you are tasked with the responsibility of putting a beautiful portrait on the wall of someone that you would like to induct. And basically the premise is someone who you feel like carved out a lane for themselves, did something new, took a risk in their field. Maybe it paid off, maybe it didn't. Either way, it inspired a generation, or maybe it just inspired you.
I'm going to have to go with Corinne Bailey Rae.
Just like a star.
And that was my talent show song every
Gorgeous.
middle school talent show.
And I know you ate it up.
And I tried.
I know you did.
But I loved her so much. She was definitely one of the early people that I admired immensely, just because she was my first example of a Black girl who was doing something that I felt like I hadn't seen. Like honestly, the soft, super feminine Black girl. Like it was like kind of like it wasn't folk music, but it was like, she had her guitar, she had her big flowy skirts, and I was like, I haven't seen this before. These songs sound so different and new, and like it feels like Black girlhood very distinctly. Yes. Like that song I'd Like To, remember from the first album? I was like, it's just like her talking about like getting like her hair burned and like being at the cookout, and I was like, okay, yes, but it was like she was doing it in this way that she was like, I'm doing it in this ultra feminine flowy skirt kind of. It's like it wasn't India Irie, but it wasn't Alicia Keys, and like it wasn't
she carved a lane for herself.
It was this very specific thing, and my mom rinsed those songs so much in the car, and I got to open for her a couple of years ago.
What?
It was amazing. It was only a couple shows, but she was so kind, and I got to meet her daughters. And when we were backstage on the last show, I like gave we were talking a little bit, and one of her kids came up to me, like her 4-year-old, and like grabbed my hand and was like, "We're matching," because we were the same skin color. Everyone's crying. Everyone's in tears.
Oh my God. Is that not like a full circle kind of
It
moment?
was the most beautiful thing in the world. I was like, I was 9 years old listening to your mommy in the car, and now you are a baby and you are listening to me. And I'm like, it's too much.
Oh my gosh. Where did you open? She's British, yes?
Yeah, she was touring. She did like a whole North America tour, but I opened for her in LA and Phoenix and Santa Barbara and San Francisco.
That is so beautiful.
Yeah.
No, you're 100% right. She is a great inductee. Thank you so much for that. I'm actually going to go revisit that album right now.
It's so good.
I haven't listened to it in a while, but I too remember having that kind of moment of seeing her, because I remember that her debut album was in all the Starbucks back in the day. It was in the Starbucks.
Yes.
And I just remembered looking at her and thinking, like, that's different. Like, that's not something that like I'm used to seeing or used to hearing. I loved Like a Star. I loved Girl Put Your Records On. So
also, if you want to cry about like girlhood and childhood, is her song Butterfly.
Great.
Ooh.
I will add that to my to-do list.
Yes.
Later today.
Yes.
She's an amazing inductee. And lastly, we have something that we like to call the Sellout Playlist. And this is the song that makes you feel like that girl. The song that makes you feel powerful.
Oh, gosh. I mean, I feel like I have to say the Beyonce remix of Savage.
Okay,
because
now you're talking my
because
language.
I do feel that if I'm having a bad day and I put that song on, the bad day has turned around.
It's over.
The bad day has.
You are now a savage.
Yes, and like I'm so not that girl, but when I put it on for that 3 minutes or whatever, it's like I am right now though.
That's the thing. I see it. It's in you.
When Beyonce said, "If you don't jump to put jeans on, you don't feel my pain,"
I don't have to jump.
I don't have to jump to put jeans on. But in that moment, I do. I'm her thickness in that moment.
I'm jumping.
I am her thickness in that song, and I do have to jump to put my jeans on.
Absolutely, Your Majesty.
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed. Thank you so much. That is a great addition to the playlist.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go from Corinne Bailey Rae. What was the song?
Butterfly.
I'm gonna go from Butterfly to Savage.
That's a crazy jump.
Duality of woman, I don't care.
But that is what it's about to be a woman.
That's what it's like to be a woman, guys. We've captured it today, right here, right now. If anybody was wondering, those are the two songs that you need to sum up the entire girlhood experience.
Yes.
You are a treat.
Oh
my God, thank you.
Oh my God.
I'm really happy that we got to meet.
Me too.
One day I did see you across the street in Larchmont, but you were on
Oh,
the
yes, you did.
sidewalk and I was in a car. So it was kind of like the moment passed. But it's so nice to see you here now in front of me in the flesh, so I could tell you how proud I am of you.
Oh, thank you.
How I am a fan of everything that I have been seeing you
Thank
do.
you.
I love your voice, literally and figuratively. That's not the word.
No, that makes sense.
Okay, sure. So thank you so much for being here today. I understand that you are about to go off and be free in front of stages worldwide. I love that for you. Thank you for writing songs for them, writing songs for me, writing songs for both of us 10 years ago that we needed to hear.
Yes.
Is there anything else before you go that you would love to offer to us 10 years ago, or anyone listening now who's chasing a dream and is maybe even like feeling a bit of that imposter syndrome that you don't feel, but some of us do? You know, maybe they're in a space that they don't see themselves in a lot. Do you have any words of advice for us?
I guess the big thing, give yourself more time than you've been giving yourself so far.
That's
like,
a good one.
especially if you're younger. Like, I'm 28 years old. It's never too late to do anything, but especially if you are younger than me. Like, please give yourself more time to get this thing off the ground, whatever it is you're trying to do, because there's so much more time than you think.
Yeah.
It's so much better to be older when you have like your dreams when big dreams come true. 'Cause
Honestly,
it's very
yes.
overwhelming to have big dreams come true.
Yeah.
And the older I get, and when I achieve the things that I have achieved, I'm like, oh, thank God this didn't happen when I was 21 years old, because I wasn't ready and I didn't like have the emotional capacity to handle it, and I didn't have the I wasn't responsible enough or whatever else. And if you're if you're a teenager, if you're in high school, if you're in college, you're post grad, like you're just starting out in whatever your field is, whatever your dream is, it's like, give yourself 5 or 10 more years than you think to do whatever the thing is, because you probably are going to be so much happier if it takes longer anyway.
Yes, that's like such good advice. Yeah, she needed to hear that 2 years ago. She needed to hear that. Okay, thank you so much. I feel like you've just answered all of my questions so beautifully. I'm enlightened. I'm gonna go open my journal that has kind of cobwebs on it a little bit, and you know, maybe Spike will call me, or
who knows?
Who knows?
He's on Instagram.
He be watching.
He is on Instagram.
Clearly. Well, thank you so much for being here and talking to me. Please keep up with Jensen McRae. Okay, new album, I don't know how, but they found me, is out now everywhere, and she's probably coming to a city near you because the girl doesn't sleep. This has been Jay Stevens and
Jensen McRae.